Ramsey Robinson, welcome to the show.
Thank you, DJ. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you coming on here. It means a lot to me. Been trying to do this for a little while, heavily asked for. So I'm glad to have you on here for sure.
Most definitely. It's been long overdue, so I'm glad to get on.
Definitely long overdue. Ramsey, you were born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama. Talk to me about your upbringing in Alabama.
So, well, actually, my parents they're both military. But I lived in Montgomery, Alabama from second grade all the way through middle school. That was an experience. Definitely rich with history, I would say. Montgomery is probably, I would say, the home for the civil rights movement, especially with all that went on there, being the capital of Alabama, and how segregation really in Alabama was the one that was most presented on national television and all around the world. So growing up there was really cool because I got to experience so much history and see all the houses firsthand, being so close to Selma and Birmingham. It was really nice. And also college football is huge there. So being right next to Tuscaloosa and Auburn, I would say it was really fun getting to experience that Auburn versus Alabama. A real rivalry, that was always fun.
Definitely. I feel like when we first met, that was something we talked about. My parents are both from Alabama. My mom grew up in Selma for a lot of her life. My dad, he's from a small town outside of Montgomery called Prattville, Autauga County. So I remember we used to talk about that a lot. A lot of my family's in the military too. Both my grandparents were in the Korean War, Vietnam War. My uncle's in the Air Force. Your parents in the Air Force. So I feel like when we first met and actually started to get to know each other more outside of sports and stuff, it was a pretty decent connection there for sure.
Most definitely. My dad, Prattville that's crazy because my dad, he was the first one that started bringing me out there. It is right by Montgomery. And that's actually where I started. That was my first AU basketball team out there in Prattville. So it's interesting you brought that up. But I have fond memories of going to Prattville High, the PCA, which is Prattville Christian Academy, like practicing and stuff. Small world. That just shows you definitely.
Very small world. After you moved from Montgomery, you guys moved to Brevard County in Florida. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about what it was like moving from Alabama to Brevard and what some of the differences were, what it was like adjusting.
Well, I'll say it was a big culture shock for one. Moving to Florida from Alabama, I will say Alabama is a lot more conservative. So coming to Florida, my perspectives immediately opened up and changed. I was so new to seeing all different types of people. Like in Alabama, there weren't as many ethnic groups. I will say moving to Florida, you meet people from all different nationalities, races, and that was so interesting, especially considering besides like one person I knew that was from his parents were in the military, but they were from Africa. Besides him, I didn't really know there was even more Black people. So coming here and seeing like thriving culture, Jamaica, Haitian culture. So that was a really big culture shock to me. And also just the sheer change in sports coming here. I didn't realize, I thought I'd always been a competitive person. I've been competing my whole life, but coming to Florida is when I really found out just how serious it gets, especially when it came to basketball. I didn't play football when I came here, but looking at football is very serious here. I would say outside of Texas and California, like Florida's top three, it was just, that was really interesting too. And it forced me to step my game up because I thought I was good. And then I moved to Florida. And even when I tried out my freshman year, I just remember thinking, man, I thought I was good. And these people are dunking and doing all this types of stuff. I thought I was different, but now everyone's doing the same thing.
For sure. That's definitely the case. Whenever you go to a different place, I know anytime you just go to different areas, you see the difference in people, the difference in sports, like you said. It's always like that, especially when you're getting older too. You start to see that there is separation in what you thought was good and what's actually good, how you are as a player versus how other people are. So I definitely agree with that.